Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Taking Over. I am, of course, Ol'Ed Ed Fries, joined, as always, by the natural Astrid and Ol'Ed. Disregard the camera thing. Unfortunately, StreamYard has been an update. My camera does not like it, so disregard everything behind it. Anyways, moving on. We are here to talk about more independent wrestling, Astrid. But I feel like, as we're the taking over people, and let's be honest, we were also the making an impact people for a good period of time too. Yeah. We have to talk about NXT TNA Showdown. What do you think of the show?
It was pretty fun. I think the only thing that was missing about my nostalgia aspect of the Survivor Series type of show is having the scoreboard. I would have wanted a scoreboard every time, whichever company won the matches. So, other than that, I feel like it was fun.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job of making both companies come out looking as good as they possibly could. I liked the creativity of the finish in the Mustafa Ali match. Whether that was real, whether that was an accident, I don't know. I don't care. I thought it was great. I loved it. I thought it was really unique and different. I like how both companies come out, like I said, even keel, 2-2. Makes that TNA looks good going into Bound for Glory. Hello, Mr. Luis. Thank you for joining us. And, of course, thanks to Brett Martinez, Zach, and, of course, the Ogre Lord, Bobby Munson, for jumping in as well. I thought everything on the show was really good. Part of me misses talking NXT every week. Part of me really enjoys just sitting back and watching NXT whenever the fuck I feel like it. Like, I didn't watch NXT No Mercy until like Monday or like Sunday night, like right at the end of Sunday night. Mm-hmm. I waited to watch that show. I like not having to watch it right away. But we're not here to talk about NXT. We're not here to talk about TNA, although we will talk more TNA later. Right now, we're here to talk about WrestlePro, and especially WrestlePro's Killer Smokeshow. This was a fun show. We're going to talk about the card as we go. But I do want to say WrestlePro put on a really fantastic show. Astrid, tell me what you thought. This is your first indie promotion in what looks like a high school gym. Because this is the Rahway Community Center, I believe they call it, or the Rec Center. This is a typical kind of indie promotion, kind of stomping grounds. What did you think of the hard cam shot right onto the bleachers? What did you think of the one-man booth? What did you think of the show tonight?
I actually, even though I'm not a fan of the one-man booth, because it happens to us here when we do the shows by themselves, it's not the same when you'd have somebody to like really talk to and you don't have anybody to like bounce off of. But I feel like the guy really did a good job by himself. He gave a lot of background story on each person and even the story that was happening. So I felt like I knew what was happening even while watching it, and that's how I think it should be. I feel like he did a really good job overall. This reminded me a lot of when I went to the NXT live event for the one time that I went, because it was an armory, so it was really, really small. So it just reminded me of something like this. I haven't been to one of those in a while, so it makes me want to go now. I like the shot of I like the gym like as a whole, just because I like those type of shows that are smaller, like it was for that NXT live show, because just feel a lot more intimate to be that close. Like I remember being almost by the entrance ramp, to put it like that. So to see people like Baron Corbin, who were like twice my size, in front of me, and Rusev and Alana at the time, it felt really great to see people that close up when you're watching them usually on TV. So it's one of those experiences you don't get to have often.
It's not hard to be twice as big as Astrid. She is very tiny.
I am.
5 feet of fury. Anyways, she is indeed fun size. No other comments about that, especially during the Halloween season. No, I wanted to talk about Jake Preston, I believe was his name on commentary tonight. I thought he did a fantastic job. And it didn't hit me until my third time watching the show. Because, again, I like watching these shows more than once to really get the feel of some of the stuff here. You know what it reminded me of in commentary? ECW. Old school ECW. Because not only does it feel like that with the one-man booth, he sounds and the cutaways, it was fucking ECW. Like, Like, it boggled my mind. He sounded like a young Joey Styles. He has
Yes,
that
I was
same,
gonna say Joey.
he has
Mhm.
that same energetic, like, passion in his voice, especially when he gets
Yeah.
really angry in the main event.
Mhm.
But in between matches, they cut away to this, like, booth that's obviously somewhere else, it feels like.
Mhm.
But the show was broadcasted live, so you know the commentary is live, unlike what ECW did. But it gives you this really cool feel of like an old ECW where when they would tape them in between the matches, they would have like Joey Styles in this little room, which turned out to be old Paul Heyman's like house or like a room in his house over in his basement. And stuff like that I thought really made that feel special. And I got that feeling here. Like, I'm not saying it's ECW, but I'm saying it gave me that feeling of that old school ECW television. And again, if you're going to emulate a one-man booth, Joey Styles is the one to emulate because he is the king of the one-man booth. Joey Styles did so many shows for for ECW by himself. So that vibe really came across today when I was rewatching the show for the third time. I'm like, that's what it is. He sounds like Joey Styles. He's got that energy. The cutaways to him by himself. Him doing interviews a couple times during this too was really interesting and different. I loved a lot of this. I really like the look of a rec center. Again, it gives you that indie feel. I wished it were a little bit more filled out. I do. One of the problems with running a rec center like they ran here is, unfortunately, if your bleacher section is sparsely attended, it makes the show look like it's a kind of empty. When you would do the pan shots, where they would go around the crowd following the wrestlers and whatnot, we have a raid. I didn't load up the Twitch backside, but I'm going to guess it's probably Get the Tables. I did jump in there. It might be the Hive. It might be Get the Tables. It might be Mike the Ref. You know, all kinds of great friends of ours who are watching all kinds. I did guess correctly. It is Get the Tables. Tony, thank you so much for that. We greatly appreciate it. If you haven't, please make sure that you go into the comments. I'm going to put it out right here. I'm going to do the shout out as we speak to shout out Get the Tables. That worked right? No, it didn't work right. All right, forget it. Go to Get the Tables here on Twitch. If you're on the Twitch side, we greatly appreciate it. They do all kinds of fantastic watch-along content. We've had them on the show here before. You already did one. That's why it didn't work. Perfect. Even better. Even better. Ol'Ed's not used to doing the whole Twitch thing anymore. Yes, he hasn't had access to. They took away my access. Can you believe that, Astrid? The Ogre Lord took away my access.
I was about to say, you said they. Who's they? Is
the Ogre Lord, of course. The royal they, the leaders of our local establishment, of which I am one. They took away my access. I did. Bobby, there's my word and your word, and then that's pretty much it. So
no, and then the truth.
We don't talk about the truth here. Anyways, if you want to go ahead and catch more WrestlePro content, you can obviously go up at the top. Like I said, every week we're going to have these things up there at the top. WrestleProOnline.com is their website. They've got some merch on there. They've got a roster on there, so you can see all these people and find out a little bit more about them. And of course, you can catch them, all of their shows, on their YouTube channel, live and streamed. WrestlePro on YouTube. We greatly appreciate it. This show right here is going to be on their YouTube. So after we talk about it, if you feel like you think it might be interesting, give it a watch. I would suggest giving it a watch.
Oh, yeah.
And I know Ash is going to suggest giving it a watch because this first match features. Go ahead, Astrid. I'm going to let you do this. Go ahead. Who's in our first match, Astrid?
It features one of my favorites, Mr. Santana.
Yeah. And who was Mr. Santana taking on?
Who cares? No, I'm kidding. I'm sorry, Jordan.
We got to clip that one and make sure we tag Jordan Oliver in that one.
I'm sorry, Jordan. No, I love Santana though, so I just, for those that don't know, but no, it was Santana versus Jordan Oliver.
Jordan Oliver, I thought, already had a bad day. This was match 12 of 12 in 12 days.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I know, poor Jordan Oliver. Like, he's one of the best up-and-coming young talents in all of professional wrestling. And Astrid's like, yeah, he's not Mike Santana. He doesn't fucking matter.
No, I apologize. No,
Uh-huh.
jokes aside. Jokes aside. No, it was a fun match. I really enjoyed this dynamic of the veteran and then the younger guy trying to outsmart the veteran, but that doesn't happen because he's a veteran for a reason. Um, I love the when they started. Hey, that doesn't happen often, sir. Okay, so don't get used to it, people. Um, I love the fact that there was a one point they keep chopping each other so much. And then when Jordan does it, Santana barely reacts to it. When Santana does it to Jordan, he just almost falls down to the floor at some points. That was very funny to watch. Again, he's been doing it often. Love the Three Amigos tribute. I'm an Eddie girl. Love, I adore him. So whenever I get to see this kind of tributes, I always love seeing those parts. But no, I feel like overall it was very. They had a good back and forth. I feel like even with Santana winning the match, he showed off a lot of Jordan throughout this match here. So there was a lot of great showcasing here as well. But while also him still taking the victory as a veteran that he is. So I feel it was really well balanced and I really liked it. And it does feel like one of the longer matches of the show because I feel like there was some matches I feel like were really short. This is one of the ones that took to me one of the longest, I would say. I would say maybe second longest, but I haven't even checked the time frames. But overall, yeah, I really enjoyed it for it to be an opener.
Yeah, I thought this was a really fun and interesting match. I thought it did all of the things it needed to do. I thought it was great. I think Jordan Oliver is an absolute stud and a star. I disagree with Astrid that he's a nobody who doesn't matter. No, I think this is great. I loved all of this, and again, I loved how commentary brought up this is Jordan Oliver's 12th match in 12 days. Like, he's on a tour of the States, and he is getting every promotion he possibly can to work in. And that's so great as a young talent coming over from, I believe, overseas. I believe Jordan Oliver is
I think so.
one of the, I believe he's a Rev Pro talent, if I remember correctly. Because I feel like that's where he works. I feel like he would work in the UK. I thought it was great. This is my first real time getting to see him and watch him, and I really enjoyed everything he was doing. Of course, Santana is just fantastic. And again, Santana back on the Indies now. Oh, when will we find out?
I thought he was British too.
He's not?
No, he looks British, doesn't he?
He does. That's why I said I thought he worked in Rev Pro.
He's not. He's from New York.
Oh, okay. Maybe he's not that Oliver. I feel like there's an Oliver that travels from the UK that works over there.
But he looks so European to me right now. I want to look at him. He looks like one of the British guys. But
he does.
But a very interesting, I don't want to say fact because it's Wikipedia, but he was trained by Joe Gacy, which we love and adore in this.
We stand Joe Gacy in this house. Yes. In this house, we stand Joe Gacy.
And Jimmy Rave. Oh,
Jimmy Rave. That makes sense. That does make sense indeed. Jimmy Rave was. I love it. We're talking TNA. We're getting ready for Bound for Glory, and we've got a Jimmy Rave reference, which makes all the sense in the world. Yeah, again, wow. I love this match, and I think it's funny. Santana, he's about to become the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Fingers crossed. And it's just so great to see him filling out this schedule, working the indies. And we've now talked about him. I think this is the third show we've talked about Santana on, in a row. Without even trying. We just keep picking shows. And it's like, oh, Santana's on this show.
Where are we? I'm kidding, we're not.
No, because I picked most of these shows, and I picked this one specifically because Kross was on the show. And then I thought the rest of the time, I'm like, well, this is a decent card. Let's just do this. Santana is amazing. And again, got the big win tonight. Got the final pin in that match. We love Santana here. Jordan Oliver, we love you too, even though you're not the Jordan Oliver that we both thought you were, but that's okay. We still like you. You had a great match. Good for you. And I can't wait to see more of him because he was one of my ones to watch. Like, I have a list of 3 guys that I need to see more of, and he's on that list.
The other way, backwards.
Can you do the LAX?
I'm terrible at doing stuff backwards, but I guess I did it.
There you go. You did do it indeed right. We're going to move on to our second match now. Okay. Now, I love. Like, we're going to start with this as I love. I thought the Mike and Maria thing in WWE was fantastic.
That theme song too. Sorry.
Oh, it was such a banger theme. I love. However, there was far too much kissing in this wrestling match for me to enjoy. Still enjoyed the match. It was great, but it took a step or two down because there was far too much time spent on kissing, as we have the Cosmic Cuties of LSG and Ava Everett taking on the Savage Gnomies of Gabby Forza and Bear Bronson. And we all know I love Bear. We all know Astrid loves Gabby. I adore Gabby too, but Astrid loves Gabby. What we need to talk about here is two people we never get a chance to talk about because somehow he and she are not signed and not popping up anywhere now that she's no longer a part of MLW. Ava Everett and LSG are so fucking good. How are they still just kind of rambling around occasionally on the independence? Like, I can't fathom how little we see them considering how good they are. Like, we've been in the Northeast for most of these shows. Let's be honest. Again, part of it is I like finding things from the Northeast because they're people I happen to know. Secondly is that a lot of the places up here in the Northeast make their shows pretty easily available, which is nice. But this is the first time we're talking about LSG. This is the first time I've seen Ava Everett on a card, period, on Twitter alone. I've not seen Ava Everett on cards in months to maybe a year. So I don't know if she's just coming off injury or what. I love this match. I need to see more of LSG. I need to see more of Ava Everett. And I need this match to have less kissing. The commentator at one point says everybody in this is being kissed except him, which turns out to be true because at the end of this match, even Steve Denang, the referee, gets kissed by all four of them. Yes, Ava is fantastic. I agree. But since she left MLW, I feel like she's just done nothing. Like, I don't feel like I've seen her do anything anywhere. I also love the finish of this match. They kind of throw Ava. LSG grabs Ava and throws her into a cutter. Not on Gabby, but on Bear. And then LSG gets the pin. I mean, Chef's Kiss finish is really interesting. I love that Bear's willing to do these kinds of things. We're seeing so much more of Bear Bronson because there's so much to love about Bear right now with him doing all of the hardcore stuff in the GCWs and the ICWs and the deathmatch circuit over in like the CZW style thing. And then you have him in other places where he's wrestling normal matches, like we talked about where he wrestled Alexander Hammerstone, and it's a Haas fight. We talked about a couple of weeks, I mentioned this to Astrid a couple of weeks ago, but I saw him in a match where he took on Calvin Dumont and Cole Rutherford in essentially a triple threat match because Cole couldn't keep himself out of the match. It almost got, and instead of getting Calvin disqualified. But again, he's doing fun stuff. He's doing deathmatch stuff. He's having banger matches just in general. Bear Bronson is showing every side of him. And I'm so excited for what this means for him going forward. I really hope that the run in AEW didn't spoil the idea of him wrestling on television wrestling again, because I'm hoping a TNA picks him up. I'm hoping an NXT picks him up. I'm hoping he gets ID, because I think that would be a really fun idea. But I need to see more of the Cosmic Cuties because I love watching LSG wrestle. Funny thing, people might not know this, I used to watch AEW once upon a time. And LSG was in the early days of, I believe, AEW on like the Dark Elevations and in the ROH era. I specifically remember from the ROH era because he was one of the great tag team wrestlers of the late ROH era. LSG is so good. We need to see more of him. I'd be happy to see more Ava Everett. And of course, we always want more Gabby. We always want more Bayne. Ashley, what did you think of this match?
No, it was very fun. Like you said, for me, what really stands out is that here they're having fun more than anything. You can see, like, for example, with Ava and LSG, they're not afraid to make themselves look like fools or to look like idiots, to put it like that, in a good way, to make us laugh. And I like those type of people that don't take it too seriously either. And they, when there's certain matches that are serious, certain matches that are not, and it's not always the same thing. So we do get a variety from them. And like you said, the part that we get Bear and Gabby doing something like this, another thing that I enjoy, because I love the parts that we get Gabby picking up Ava and LSG like on her shoulders at the same time. Bear splashes Ava at one point, and when he does it, he just gets shocked himself. His facial expression was amazing after he noticed what he did, and he just went and goes and pins her right after. So, like, things like that with the timing, that was so fun. And it's like you see Bear and Gabby doing so well together, but then when it's Ava and LSG doing it together, they slip up, and it takes them a couple turns before they actually get to do what they want to do successfully. But those are the type of things that you love to see, because it makes you laugh. It takes you out of everything that's usually going on. So it's very fun overall to watch the match. The finish for me, though, I feel like it came out of nowhere. I was not expecting the win to happen the way it did. And once I saw the pin, I was like, I started to make sure that it actually was a 3, because I didn't think it was a 3. So that one was one of the ones that really surprised me, because it came out of nowhere. But I also wanted like the Gabby and Bear to win it. I don't mind that Ava and LSG did, but the way they won it, it just came out of nowhere for me. So it was very surprising. This is one of the 2 matches or 3 matches that really surprised me with the ending, because it just came out of nowhere for me. And I feel like the match was short. I really wanted it to, like, I was enjoying myself, and I really wanted it to be a little bit longer than what it was. But overall, just like I loved just a fun theme overall that we have with this match.
Yeah, and speaking of matches that ended out of absolutely nowhere, we're going to move on to our next match, which we're not going to have a lot of. Vargas taking on Ben Bishop. Now, again, I love both these guys. I need to see more Vargas, because what I saw of him at Creative Pro, we talked about him last week, I specifically said, I need to see more of this guy wrestle, because I love the look of him. I didn't even realize when I picked this show to go after that Vargas was on the show. And he's taking on one of my new favorites, Ben Bishop. And I love how they're talking about one of my favorite Ben Bishop things to do on commentary here, where they were making jokes. They were trying to get Tribal Keith on commentary. For those that don't know who Ben Bishop is on Twitter, he is so fun in the social media sphere, where he has this, like, I don't know how the TikTok thing works, but he has like this elongated like face version of him where he's got some filter on and he pretends to be this Uber IWC Mark, and he calls himself Tribal. It's so fun and so interesting and so dumb, and I love the Tribal Keith gimmick. So I was so happy that they brought that up on commentary, putting over Ben Bishop in that way. Because, again, it's getting over the talent. You don't always have to get over the talent with, hey, they work here, they won this title. Or when they talk about Ben Bishop, he had his tryout during WWE for SummerSlam, during that SummerSlam weekend. He had that tryout. Yeah, but, keep mentioning that all the time, it kind of gets boring. I love how here they're putting over Ben Bishop by putting over his social media game, by putting over something that we don't hear about all the time that's really interesting. However, this match felt like it started and ended within like 3 minutes.
Right? This was one that I wasn't expecting it, because they're just both bigger guys. And I like how in commentary they're mentioning that Ben is not used to facing somebody that's about his size or maybe taller. Usually his opponents are smaller than him. And I like the dynamic they have here, and I was enjoying the pacing of it. And I feel like it was picking up, and just when it picked up, it just ended. And I was so surprised by like how quickly it ended. That part I was not expecting out of this match. I was enjoying it. All of a sudden, I'm like, wait, it's over? That was it?
I had to go back and rewatch the entire match to see what I missed, to see if somebody got hurt or something. No. Vargas just wins the match out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
I also do want to talk about how they talk about on commentary, Ben Bishop's chokeslam has the most long convoluted name that I didn't write down. But my God, did I love. Because at the end, it's like the gimmicky thing. Like, he even realizes what the sport is and, like, gives it, like, a gimmicky name. And I just think that's hysterical. Like, I love everything about this match except that it was way too short and we need more of it. Otherwise, fantastic work, guys. Good job. I love you all. We're going to move on to our next match, which is a six-way suicide. I'm sorry. It is a suicide six-way for the WrestlePro Garden State Championship with David Goldy, El Magnifico, Justin Corino, Tony Vincita, Nikos Rikos, and one of my favorite people who I've never seen wrestle a serious wrestling match ever, J-Heru. With the hand thing. So, some background on this one. J-Heru, to me, is a manager. To me, J-Heru hangs around Aiden Agro. In a lot of the Northeast promotions up here, Aiden Agro's manager is J-Heru. And he's fun and he's entertaining. And I know he's a wrestler. But the times that I've seen him in the ring, they treat him a bit like a comedy wrestler. It was so nice to see him in a serious capacity. Commentary puts over on J-Heru, the big flex J-Heru himself, saying that coming into this match, to win the title, he had to wrestle a dog collar match. And then days later, defended the title in a three-way. It was him versus two other people. And now he's defending it in a six-way. And I'm just like, good God, can this guy just, he made me feel like Obafemi with the North American Championship. Can we just give this fucker a singles match for Christ's sakes? Like, come on, guys. WrestlePro, give J-Heru a singles match.
To me, though, even though I like the fact that this reminded me a lot of NXT because it was one of those like multi-person matches that always has something going on in the ring. There was no part of it slowing down. But to me, though, this was another one that I feel like the ending came out of nowhere because I feel like it was picking up with all the suicide dives, everybody going outside, everybody being outside. Somebody goes into the ring, and I feel like 5 things happen. All of a sudden, J-Heru wins, and I just went, what happened? I wanted more from that. I was enjoying the pacing of it because I like that fast-paced kind of style. And I feel just when I was like getting that pace and it was getting like really entertaining. And all of a sudden, it took me out of it when it just ended out of nowhere for me. And it just felt like for a multi-person match, it felt really short as well. And that's what I feel like this is my most, I wouldn't say like my complaint about the show. It's one thing that a lot of these matches felt like really short when they could have got a little bit more time.
With a 3.5-hour show in a really filled out card, some of these matches did feel incredibly short. I also, before we go any further, want to shout out the man, Mike the Ref, jumping in here and giving us a raid. We greatly appreciate it, Mike. And again, just like it was earlier, if you're interested in AEW shows, Mike the Ref is your place to be. You can go ahead and catch all the simulcasts for all the AEW content over at Mike the Ref on Twitch. You can find him on Backbreaker Media as he does all kinds of good stuff on there with wrestling stuff, with gaming stuff, all kinds of great shows. You did a triple watch along tonight, if I remember correctly, because you had the Toronto Blue Jays defeating the New York Yankees. I can't believe I'm rooting for Toronto in this. Ugh. That makes me feel yucky. He also watched the AEW Title Tuesday show from Daly's Place. That was like their homecoming show. And then, of course, he was also watching the NXT show tonight. So fantastic work from Mike the Ref covering all 3 of those great things. Well, two great things and one not so great thing. And no, the not so great thing isn't what you think it is. It's the baseball game, because I don't want to root for Toronto, but I sure as hell can't root for the Yankees. Like, I can't root for the Yankees. Like, viscerally, I cannot root. I will never I will never, ever, ever root for the New York Yankees. But anyways, moving on from that, we're going to move on to our next show. No, sorry, not our next show, our next match on this show. It's a match we've seen before, Astrid. Becca takes on the Megasis herself, Megan Bayne. Because I don't watch enough AEW, I much prefer AEW to the New York Yankees.
I mean,
just so we're clear, much prefer. But anyways, I don't watch enough AEW, so when I see Megan Bayne on my TV screen, every time I see her, I can't not go. Like the act, the size, like the tan, everything about this woman just makes you say, "Wow."
You know what I say when I see her?
What's that?
Like, why is she dating Joey Janela again? It doesn't make
What?
sense. She's dating Joey Janela.
You're seeing me have an Auntie Collins moment here, because Auntie Collins is normally the one who doesn't know who's dating who. Wait a minute. Joey douchebag Janela of GCW fame is dating Megan Bayne?
That's all I can think about when I see her, okay? I'm not happy either.
I'm broken. Multiple parts of me are broken now.
I feel like I made you malfunction, though.
Yeah, major malfunction. Go ahead. Funny how people LP Ford is Megan's partner based on that. Yeah, that's definitely an odd triangle there, considering everything there. But we'll leave that one alone because, like, it's not weird that Megan and Penelope are teamed because I get that. That makes sense.
I never thought about that. I don't know why.
No, I was going to say, it makes it feel weird when you put the Janela portion into it. It does make it a weird triangle.
It's a weird Venn diagram.
Just remember, there's a reason why Joey Janela is not part of AEW. Let's just put it that way. There's also a reason why we don't cover GCW, and we won't cover GCW here. Multiple reasons. One of them, Joey Janela. Second one, Brett Lauderdale.
But I don't know why it didn't click for me about the Megan and Penelope thing. I can't believe it took me that long. I forgot.
This match is sensational, but Ashton, I need your thoughts on it before we go into my thoughts.
No, I feel like they did really, really well together. No surprise that Megan wins, though. I feel like that's the only thing.
She lost the one that we saw in Dreamwave. Or was it Dreamwave or was it Uprising when we saw Megan versus...
Yeah, that one was surprising that she lost, to be honest.
I was going to say, I remember Becca winning that one, if I remember correctly.
It was, almost. I think, Uprising, based on the thumbnail that I'm looking at.
Okay. That sounds about right.
Yeah, but I feel like... Yeah. I'm looking it over in the channel, so it is right. Don't be like... It is right, sir. I like the fact that Becca's like, I'm learning she's the bigger girl, so I'm just gonna... I like her focus here because she goes and attacks her before the match starts really like working on her to take her down to her level. It's like giving her submissions and going for the legs and stuff like that. So I like that she has a good game plan, and she's able to slow it down in such a way that is definitely different from Megan's style, which I really like. But then once Megan picks up the pace, then it's over for Becca at that point, and you can see the change in the pacing and the change in the style and how that benefits Megan in the end to get that win. But again, they had such a great chemistry. One of my favorite moves, though, that was when Becca did the springboard cutter. That was beautiful to watch. I really enjoyed that part of it. But yeah, I feel like overall, I like the change of like how Becca really starts the match versus how it ends with Megan and how it's so different from one and the other. And I feel like they really did well of like showcasing each other in this match too.
I love how you're like, the move that impressed you was that cutter that Becca...
Not that impressed me. I just enjoyed it, how she did it.
what the chemistry, the moment I knew the chemistry with these two was off the charts and was going to be something that wasn't going to be replicated the rest of the show, was Becca does a second rope superplex to Megan Bayne and then goes to roll it into something else. And Megan just, without like thinking, gets up first, lifts Becca up, holds her for what feels like 2 minutes in the air, and then just drops her. That stalling suplex was fantastic. I thought that was the end of this match. Then Becca does the 450 style splash, and I'm like, well, that's the end of the match. And Megan kicks out at 2. And then they go a little bit more, and then Megan hits the Megasis bomb for the win. Jesus Christ, this was a good one. This is my favorite match on the show. I have a lot of fun with a lot of the other matches on this show. This middle portion of the show was really, really, really soft. Not that Jordan Oliver and Mike Santana wasn't, but after you get through that opening match, that middle gets a little funky. That early middle gets a little funky with all the kissing in the tag match. And then you got the 2 quick matches with the 6-way and the Vargas Ben Bishop match. This felt like it brought it all back together. The girls got time. The girls killed it. The girls did really, really well here, and they showed up and showed out and really killed it. It's unfortunate that the other women weren't given the same opportunity. However, storyline reason why they weren't given that up, and we'll talk about that when we get there. But we saw going into this, one of the things that I looked for when I saw that Killer Kross was on the show was, well, what are the women's matches on the show? Because Astrid's always like, what are the women? That's one of the questions I get asked when I give Astrid a show is, hey, what about this? What are the women's matches on the show? And I'm like, Megan Bayne versus Becca. She's like, okay, I like that. She's like, is there anything else? Because indie shows don't always have more. And I'm like, oh yeah, Lady Frost versus Rebecca J. Scott. She's like, all right, cool, show we're doing. I feel bad for the other two, but I feel like that's going to go really well for the next one. But these two absolutely killed it. I loved this. And this was fantastic. However, we do get to our next match, which is Space Academy taking on Sent to Slaughter. Astrid, what were your thoughts? Because you weren't here for narcissistic behavior. So you weren't here to watch Sent to Slaughter take on the Miracle Generation. I want your opinions on the veterans in this match, Dan Maff and Shawn Donavan. What did you think of the look of Sent to Slaughter?
So there's one of them. I forget which one it was though. That's the only thing. One of them really reminded me of I want to call it out like that. A-Train Tensai.
Yeah. Is it the short one or the tall one? I
think it's the chubbier one. He reminds me a lot of him.
Dan Maff.
The way he's just standing in the ring reminded me so much of Tensai. Yeah, I had to look at him and I'm like, I had to remind myself that it wasn't Tensai when I was watching it though, because like body wise, he looks a lot like him though.
So Dan Maff is on the left, and on the right is Shawn Donavan, and they are Sent to Slaughter, and they have over 40 years of experience between the two of them.
Yeah, I feel like it was an interesting pairing though. I like the more like the psychology within the match of like having Max be isolated from his partner and taking him more to like their side of the ring. I love when the tag teams do that kind of thing and they realize like if they don't tag in that it's better for us. And then once Colton gets the hot tag, you're like hoping that it'll pick up a little bit more. And then all of a sudden Max tags himself in, so that causes a little rift in there as it's going in, as the match is happening. Only for this to like once the match ends, you can see more of that continuing on even after the match. But I like the psychology within the match as a whole in itself.
Yeah, I like the fact that they gave us a vignette before the match of Space Academy telling us that they have issues with a tag team. And LSG's like, cool, my shit's done. I'm out. You go win the tag titles from these big behemoths. I thought that was fantastic because it's just such an asshole heel thing to be like, yeah, cool, you guys got this. I'm going to go. Colton Charles is my one to watch from this show. Like I said, I need to see more of Vargas. But my one to watch, if you don't watch more of anybody on this show, I need to see more of Colton Charles. This guy has so much charisma. I can do with a little bit less of the hoppity hop hop that he was doing. I thought it was fun, and then it went overboard. It jumped the shark for me. I loved Dan Maff doing the hippity hoppity bunny rabbit thing that he does. And again, I'm not doing it. I'm too big to do the hippity hoppity thing. But you can go ahead and watch it, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. I thought this was a really cool match. I love Santa Slaughter. I think they're fantastic. They do such an interesting job of being badass wrestlers who don't have to be heel or face. Like, they won the titles by using the plaque that their manager has to win the titles. But on this show, the manager's not there, and so they don't have the plaque, and they don't cheat to win. They just win. Like, seemingly the baby faces in this match, and essentially Max is the heel, even though because his teammate feels like a baby face. I can't wait for the breakup to have the Colton Charles versus Max St. Giovanni match, because that feels like it's going to be a banger, and I want LSG to be the referee in that match, just because I think that would be cool. Like, I'm a dummy. Like, when I see these faction ones, I'm like, I want this guy versus this guy, and I want the third guy in the faction to be the ref. I think that's a fun thing to do, especially on the indies. This was fantastic. Santa Slaughter are just big, beefy men. Like, they're not gigantic by any means, but they're big enough that Colton Charles, who feels like a big dude, like he feels tall and thick, and then you have him standing next to Dan Maff, and this old bastard's just like stood there next to him straight up, and you're just like, good God, Charles feels like a child next to Dan Maff. But I can't get enough of these two. I want to watch more Santa Slaughter. I need to see more Colton Charles. He's my one to watch on this show. And only because of the fact that you should already be watching Lady Frost. You should already be watching Rebecca J. Scott. So those were my women to watch, because they're the two that I haven't seen enough of. Like, we've talked about Rebecca J. Scott with both the Dreamwave and the Uprising show. And every time we talk about her matches, I go, I have to see more. By the way, the change in her character, I can't wait to get into that when we get to her match, which will be coming up in just a moment. But this tag team championship match, Santa Slaughter obviously retained. Max St. Germain screws his tag team partner. They get the big L. This is good. I really enjoyed this. Everything about this was fun. It did exactly what it needed to do, and it didn't outlast its welcome, but it wasn't short either. Which is why I think, again, this is the second match that really kind of picks up that second half of the show. We go to our intermission now. Oh, wait, no, not yet. No. Yeah, we go to our intermission here. And when we come back, we are interrupted by Alex Reiman, Brian Downey, and their third man, whom I forget. I forget his name. But I do know that they are called Revolver's Chamber. I don't understand why they're called Revolver's Chamber. I wish I knew. They're a heel group, and I can tell because, checks notes, they cut generic heel promo number 4. Which is, we weren't supposed to be on this show, but we're going to come out here because y'all suck and we want you to see greatness, and, we're the Revolver, and they do their fucking bad Dark Order 10 hand thingy.
When they did that at the end, it reminded me of the Gacy group. I forget the name now. I don't know why I was blanking out on it.
The Dyad?
Yeah. It just gave me those vibes at the end with the hand gesture.
Oh, the hand gesture made me think of Dark Order right away. It's
I
like
think
it wasn't the Dark Order. I think that like the hand.
yeah.
And but it's like they don't like do like full open. They kind of like
Yeah.
curl it a little bit, and I'm like,
I was
what?
thinking to me it's like a starfish. That's all I can think about.
It was so weird. And then my two favorite boys. Yes, my two favorite boys. I am indeed wearing an old school wrestling shirt just because of these boys. So this is a Be One of Us Kingdom shirt. And the reason why I'm wearing a Kingdom shirt is because in one of the iterations of the Kingdom, it was Matt Taven. And by the way, just so we're clear, this is the second best iteration of the Kingdom. This is the second best iteration of the Kingdom. It was Matt Taven, it was TK O'Ryan, the Wild Horse, and it was the Horror King himself, Vinny Marcel, who I will always call Vinny and will never call Vincent, because I will always know him as Vinny Marcel. But out come the Righteous. How AEW let these guys, like, I know I'm an old school ROH bit of a mark for the old ROH tag teams. And again, these guys are late ROH. They don't really count. But, like, these guys are so good. And Dutch is such an interesting pairing with Vinny. Because Vinny is the weirdest, wackiest, coolest cat you've ever seen. And I don't think he's putting on a character. I think Vincent is a personification of just Vinny being Vinny. And just kind of being a dude. And I loved their run in when in TNA. And I was so excited when they came over to ROH. Because I thought that was really cool. And I thought there was a lot of good things happening there during that ROH run. But for some reason, they just never got off the ground over in AEW. And I can't understand or fathom why. Because they're just so good and interesting. And they pull you in with the music, with, as Astrid did, the snapping. Like, it's just so cool and odd. And I want to say different because it's Bray Wyatt. It's so Bray Wyatt-esque, but it's nothing. It's so hard to compare and contrast them because he's not Bray Wyatt, but he is Bray Wyatt, but he isn't Bray Wyatt. Like, it's got all the hallmarks of this Wyatt Six, Wyatt family kind of vibe. But it's completely different because he's not looking to recruit people. He's just looking to, like, do a thing with his big, tall buddy who likes to stick his tongue out and go, all the time. But they're so good in the ring. And this match is really good. It's generic heel team number 6, taking it, Revolver's Chamber apparently tonight, taking on the Righteous. And the Righteous do their thing and they get the win. I want to talk more about the match. There wasn't a whole lot to talk about. It was kind of supposed to be a squash to get the Righteous on the card. Because we need the Righteous for later on in the main event. Because the Righteous seem to be going wherever Kross goes. And commentary tells us that both here and in the main event. That the Righteous seem to happen to show up wherever Kross goes. The Righteous seem to be there too. I thought the Revolver's Chamber looked cool. I like their vibe. They need a better hand thing because this doesn't work. The Dark Order grab the boobies hand thing doesn't work for me. So get a better hand thing, boys. But other than that, this was fine because we got the Righteous on the card. Do you have anything more to add to the Righteous and Revolver's Chamber?
I figured I'll include it here, but it just made me think of like one of those, like, as people say, what ifs in wrestling, because I just kept thinking how amazing would it have been to have that Killer Kross / like Righteous group, as Bray had an idea for them, and how great that would have been is like seeing them kind of like you said, follow him throughout certain shows, and then all of a sudden, like, they show up together. And they had promos here and there because Kross had promos that he started using the Righteous theme song in the background, or even snapping here and there. It's like things like that that were so intriguing, and it's like you wanted to see more from that, and you didn't get to. And just made me think of like this is a big what if, because how great would that have been in a wrestling show, or even like maybe feuding with the YS6 at this point, because it was something that was supposed to be Ray's idea. Like anything like that would have been great for me to watch, and it would have intrigued me. So that's all I kept thinking about, was like how great would this like group would have been together, all four of them, including Scarlett here too, because even at the end of the main event, you could see the connection they all have here, and you could see how great they work together. And I was like, dang it, I want to see more from it.
Yeah. We get a pair of interviews here, one with Amy Rose, one with Pete Rosado. Interviewing the next two competitors is Rebecca J. Scott and Lady Frost. Also, happy birthday to Rumble Bunny Amy Rose. Good job for her. Another ROH name that I know and love. She was the ring girl for ROH for a long time. I believe she even did some ring announcing for them as well. She managed Kenny King, K-I-N-G King. Oh, wait, where is Kenny King? I need to see more of him on my screen. So maybe we can find a promotion with Kenny King doing something at some point. I want to love this match, but there wasn't much match to love because they're booking for the future with this one. They give us a great primer of Rebecca J. Scott keeps interrupting and beating down on Lady Frost. So Lady Frost gets sick and tired of it. They go ahead and they make this match official. Lady Frost beats her up as they come to the ring apron. I love that. I thought that was really cool. Throwing Rebecca J. Scott like through the ring, through the curtain to go ahead and get down to the ring. I thought that was really great. I really enjoyed that. And they brawl. It's a really cool brawl. I'm getting into it, and then all of a sudden, at some point, the bell rings. And I'm like, what the hell? Double count out. Both women are disqualified because both women got counted out. Lady Frost will change the title. Lady Frost, they keep brawling, and then they finally get separated. Lady Frost grabs the microphone and says, November's show is going to have the first ever women's first blood match in WrestlePro history. I'm down for that. That's going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm. And this was very like bittersweet for me because I was ready. I wanted to see Lady Frost as sort of like the AEW bubble because we barely see her there. So I was very looking forward to the match. And I said bittersweet in the aspect of like I like the fact that they are so like they have that rage towards each other that they keep beating up on each other, don't even realize that the counter was happening. So I like that aspect of it, but at the same time disappointed because I wanted to see the match and I didn't get to see anything because barely anything happened. And I do like the fact they're extending it a little bit more because that first blood thing like really intrigued me as well. So if they put that on the YouTube channel, I definitely will have to review it later because it sounded so interesting. But yeah, I wanted to see a little bit of the match in itself. And this was another one that I just went, but you just got there, and all of a sudden now it's over, and then you got nothing. But I like the fact that even after the bell rings, they still go at it with each other, like they don't care at that point that the bell rings. So I like that reach they have.
It's an effective match / segment that builds to a bigger, better match down the road. I'm disappointed only because of the fact that I didn't get to see it, like I should say, here and now. But like them building to a better, bigger match is good, and I'm glad. Indie wrestling doesn't always do this, where they do like they try to make sure everybody's happy at every show, and every now and then you need to just kind of do a little bit to move it down the road. So, WrestlePro Women's Championship in November will be defended in a first blood match for the first time ever in WrestlePro history with the women. Oh boy, Astrid, our favorite boy is back again. Max Caster, the WrestlePro Gold Champion, who cashed in his one and done, one shot, whatever. I wish I wrote down what the hell he won a ladder match to get a shot at a championship of his choice anytime he wanted. And he cashed it in that night when Matt Cardona defeated CPA to win the WrestlePro Gold Championship. And after getting laid out, Max Caster came and cashed in and won the WrestlePro World Championship. Taking on former 500-plus day champion CPA. To which I went, wait a minute. There was a promotion where my man CPA was a champion for 500 days. And the names they rattled off at one point of people he beat, I'm like, excuse me? Like, these are like some big names on the independent circuit that he's beaten in that run. And I love it because we've seen CPA as a bit of a comedy guy, a bit of a goof. Now, he's a very talented goof. Because to do the things that CPA does and the way CPA does them, you have to be ultra talented to be able to get that across and make people love it. And people loved CPA in this show. This crowd loved CPA. I still think that him and Andre Chase have two of the hardest jobs in professional wrestling. Wrestling in attire that you have no business wrestling. Andre Chase in those fucking sweaters. And CPA... Now, as a man, I refuse to wear button-up dress shirts because they don't fit right. I couldn't imagine wearing multiple button-up dress shirts to the ring to wrestle in. And he takes them off as the match is... And I love how the commentator's like, how great would it be? Like, we've seen him, like, power up to, like, 3 shirts. But, like, he never goes over 3 shirts. What happens if he goes to 4 or 5 or something? And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, he's laying out a thing. We're going to get a 4th shirt in this match, right? But I'm like, no, that'd be crazy. Like, I've never seen CPA in a 4th shirt. There's no way he has a 4th shirt. Lo and behold, he did. He powered up to 4 shirts, Astrid. We should have a scale in our match scale for all of these matches and all of these shows should be CPA shirts. How many CPA shirts does this match get?
I think
that might be a cool gimmick for us to do. How many CPA shirts was this match? Anyways, I also like how it times dated, so like we feel like it's a bit behind watching it now. But I like how they current eventing it, talking about how Max Caster just came from Toronto, just came from being told that he has to team with Anthony Bowens again, which I believe we've already seen on AEW commentary. On AEW television, I believe.
They're working on it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. We will have already seen these matches play out. But I love how they're bringing it up and they're making it a point here. And again, great job by commentary. Who's done a great job all night? Mm-hmm. 0 issues with the commentary. He didn't have any weird things that he didn't belong saying. I mean, the I didn't get kissed thing was a little odd, but then again, with all the kissing, I guess it really worked well for the commentary. Mm-hmm. Like, he really did a good job, and here he does a really good job of making CPA feel like a big deal. Whereas, like, so people like me and you who don't watch WrestlePro all the time, who didn't know CPA is a 500-day champion, that's a big, important thing. So I loved how he made it feel like CPA is a big deal. He made it feel like this is important, that this match is happening. CPA is so good at, like, he's Orange Cassidy, but better, in my mind, because he's not about low effort. He's like, I'm an accountant doing the wrestling thing. Like, I'm going to do this safe. Like, when he does the 619, and he stops at the ropes, and he climbs over the ropes, and he grabs the rope, and then he kind of swings himself. It's so corny that it's cute. But, like, to me, it's not as silly as, like, I put my hands in my pocket, and I don't give a crap about the wrestling until, like Bobby Munson, I can't get into the Orange Cassidy thing. I just can't. I didn't get into it on the Indies. I don't get into it in AEW. It's just there's a disconnect between me and the Orange Cassidy thing. But I'm down for this for the CPA thing. I like the CPA thing. I also have to say, and I hate to say this, I really do. Max Caster was really good.
No, don't say it.
But it's true, Astrid. We have to be honest.
No, don't say it. No.
He was really good.
But was he, though? Was he?
Yes. Now, he's not the best wrestler in the world, as he claims, and he started that corny chant again.
And again,
What?
people didn't follow him.
No,
I
they were
love the
chanting CPA.
I was gonna say I love the fact that he's chanting it and he's so concentrated, like, no, we're chanting this and we're doing it like this. And he's trying to teach the people how to say it, and even though he wants the rhythm and everything. And then the crowd is like, no, we want CPA. It's like no matter how hard you try, we're still gonna chant for him. And I love how it takes over for a moment there, and it's just so like wonderful to like listen to it because he's like, no, we're doing it like this. And you can see CPA like smiling, and I've had CPA trying to do his own rap, which he was really like. I think he was really funny and entertaining, by the way, on that aspect of
Yeah,
it too.
he was.
Um, he did great. He did better than I thought he was gonna be, to be honest.
The CPA mixtape. I agree with commentary. I gotta get it at some point.
Yeah, no, overall, I feel like he did like a great job, and I like how he has a connection with the crowd here that I feel like I don't think anybody really in the whole show did as much as he did, because I feel like Richard Holliday and Killer Kross would have been probably the next two after him, but I feel like the way that he has the crowd on the palm of his hands is like almost like a Joe Hendry type of person. Like he connects with the crowd in such a different level than most people do. And like you said, it's like that's at 619, and it's like you don't see people like doing it because he's not doing it the way it should be. People are laughing because he's doing it differently, and it's not in a disrespectful kind of way either. It's just like him being funny at the same time. So I feel like he does a really well job of like handling himself in the ring. I love the fact that we get the continuity from AEW on screen too, because we get Anthony Bowens being here, getting involved in the match, which at the end leads to CPA winning that championship.
Yeah, and this is great, and I loved everything about it. Bowens being here makes it all great.
Mm-hmm.
They do this. Him and CPA do the scissors thing. I don't know how it. I'm not cool. I don't know how it goes. Commentary did say we all love to scissors and we've all done scissoring. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry, sir. I have yet to scissor. I don't do the whole scissor thing. So I don't speak for yourself there, good sir. I love Bowens. The Pride Anthony Bowens is so good, and I'm so looking forward to him to continue to break out on his own. I hate that they're putting him back with Max, even briefly. I think it's bad for him. I think they need to just keep him separate. I like how he's a former 2-time WrestlePro champion here, which makes me want to go back and watch old WrestlePro shows to find out how good Bowens was in this. We then get a guy who, back to TNA again, guy we've seen in TNA, at least I remember seeing him during the pandemic era of TNA, Falaba! Oh, I love Falaba. Like I can't get enough of this big bastard. I love Falaba. He's great. He beats the shit out of CPA, man. Like he beats he squashes him 2 or 3 times. Bowens comes out to try to make the save. He gets thrown away, and then I was so hoping he'd be here so I could make fun of him for it. Hopefully he'll watch it watch it back. The good STG came out. The best STG came out. Dark STG himself, Follow Ball's tag team partner, who he apparently turned on. And again, fantastic job by Pete Rosado here on commentary to explain to us who Dark STG is, that he's a bad guy, that he's right to come out here and attack Falaba because Falaba turned his back on him. Really good job of giving us enough understanding of who these people are, why we care about what's going on in the ring. Such a good job here. He saves CPA. Obviously, we're going to get Falaba versus Dark STG at the next show. Seems like a good one. I might watch that. They really sold that November show to me with a lot of the things going on here. Because I think you could do another Cardona versus CPA match, I think, at the next show, too. If you don't do Falaba versus CPA, because it feels like you got to do STG. So there's a whole bunch of interesting stuff going on here. I really enjoyed this match. This match specifically, we're not going to do all the matches, but we'll do this match specifically. I give it 4 CPA shirts. What about you, Astrid?
That one's tough. Okay, the only reason I'm putting it down is because it has to be max, but it's 3.5.
Okay. 3.5 CPA shirts. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's it.
And then we get video packages leading into our main event. And as we're getting video packages leading into our main event, I do want to bring something up. So our main event is indeed Killer Kross versus Richard Holliday. As it should be. These guys are fantastic. And no matter what matches you have on your show, this should always be your main event if this match is on your show. However, I do want to do a little bit of free press. Not that, it's going to do a whole hell of a lot. But I do want to go ahead and pull this up. So, Killer Kross is in this match. I think Killer Kross is a great guy. Later on tonight, I'm going to go ahead and buy this for my audiobook. Life is Fighting. Killer Kross wrote a book. Life is Fighting. It's a #1 bestseller in wrestler biographies. Getting a whole bunch of good stuff. Look at this. It's got a 4.7 out of 5-star review here on Amazon. $22. Go ahead and buy his book. Find out more about Killer Kross's life. Find out more about what Killer Kross does. That's on Amazon. I can't wait to read this. It's going to be fun. Well, I say read. I'm going to listen to it while I work. And I really hope he's the person who's doing the narrating. I haven't looked into who's doing the narrating, but I really want it to be
I thought
Kross.
he was.
I really hope he is.
What was the name of it again?
Life is Fighting. I mean, I still have the thing up. I just didn't look to see if he's the one who does that thing.
No, I have the app. That's what I was wondering.
Oh, okay.
Where is it at?
Also, just because we're promoting books, and it's not quite relevant to this one.
Yeah, it is narrated to him by him.
All right, cool. Also, while we're promoting books, you should get this one too. Last Heart Beating.
She's going on tour too. So I was gonna say if you have.
I saw that she's in Providence in a couple weeks, and I was like, maybe I go and get a book signed.
Yeah, so I was gonna say if she's going on book tour, so if it's in an area that you're in, definitely wait for the book tour. I would recommend that at least. Because absolutely. I know with my experience with book tours, if you go to the tour date, then I will wait until then to buy because that's how you get in. So. Yeah.
But yes, no. Now the selfless promotion for fantastic professional wrestlers who do great work is done. Let's talk about the no disqualification match between Kross and Ol'Ed. I love how commentary brings up the Adam Cole comment. I thought that was so great because it's so ingrained in the Karrion Kross character. And for those of you that don't remember that quote, I'm going to go ahead and pull it up and we're going to risk getting a little bit of trouble. But Astrid, talk to me about this match while I go ahead and pull up this clip.
No, I like the fact that they started off with giving us the video packages from both of our perspectives. We get the one from Richard at the bookstore. It's like, oh, hey, you got a book, but you didn't get, you basically left WWE. It just throws the book out. And then I like how Kross goes, I hope you put it back because some poor worker has to put it back later on. And I love how Richard continues that on because he starts with the promo in the ring before the match even starts. I think I don't want to say favorite, but one thing that really stands out to me is when he's on the phone at the beginning, grabs the phone from the commentary table, says call. He's like, "Oh, Hunter," and he says calling back as if he didn't get a call back to be back in WWE, like that kind of thing of like that makes Richard really stand out in that aspect of it as a heel. I like the fact that he's pretending to do that. I like the fact that they start off in the crowd. We do get a little bit here and there, so it's not just in the ring. They actually take advantage of like the venue they're in. I was not expecting anybody to jump in, so when I see the Revolver's Chamber jump in, I was not expecting that part of it. It was like Richard has friends everywhere because that's the same thing that happened in like the one you watched too. So
Richard Holliday has money, which makes you friends.
I know, but still, he does his move, his low blow, but not only does he do it to Kross, but he does it to the referee too. That part definitely made me laugh when he did it to the referee. He brings the table, and I like how he tries to get involved with Scarlett. Scarlett slaps him too, and then we get the Righteous here coming in for the save. They save Scarlett. I love the fact that Scarlett does her Canadian Destroyer because why not? I love the fact that I want her to do a little bit more in the ring. So I'm glad to see her doing a little bit here. So it's one of those things like I get into another part to the what if in wrestling because I really wanted her to continue on with the wrestling aspect of it. But yeah, she does her little destroyer. She low blows Richard as well. And then Kross ends the match with doing a gore through the table to Richard Holliday for the win.
Yeah. This match was fantastic for all of the things you said, but I do have no choice but since they brought it up, it is one of my favorite NXT moments of all time because it is such a lie. And again, it's about the presentation of Kross in WWE and not Kross in general. And I think it killed his momentum in WWE to the point where I think it really even hurt him on the main roster and everything else. But it was such a true line for the time and for the period that they were in. So we're going to go ahead and let it play. Oh, hold on. I'm going to turn off my headset. That screws if I have that on when I'm trying to do this. All right. Let's hope we can hear.
You ain't Adam Cole, baby, and you never will be. Because this brand has done everything in their power to make you feel special. Well, you got the cool music, you got the lights, you got the fog machine, you got the girl. You know what they do to make Adam Cole feel special? They ring the freaking bell.
Yeah. That's a moment in time. And my what if this show would be, what if they didn't do that? What if Adam Cole didn't make Kross feel like he's nothing? Because while Adam Cole didn't say, you know, we'll pull it up.
And I mean, folks, where's the lie?
I mean, yeah, no. Hello, Mel. Thank you for joining us. It kind of killed the momentum of Kross. And it's unfortunate because Kross has done everything right up to that point. And everything after that. And so it really sucks that that's the moment. But I feel like it's important as Kross rebrands and rebuilds himself back to Killer Kross. And he's getting the support of the fans. And he's out there having a banger match ad right here. And this is incredibly fun. And he's letting Richard Holliday do all kinds of crazy shit. Like, Richard Holliday grabs his phone from, like, the inside table and pretends he's talking to Triple H. He says something that I refuse to repeat to Scarlett Bordeaux on the ringside apron as he's getting ready to put Kross through that door, to which makes her slap him. He pulls out a Triple H pedigree that he tries to do. It gets reversed, and he still manages to hit a Styles Clash, which again, great storytelling about all the WWE stuff that's going on. And again, Karrion Kross is so giving in all of this match to be able to give all of this Richard Holliday, who is a star on the Indies. Let's not mince our words here. Richard Holliday is as much a star as Kross is. These guys are both stars. Nobody was going to come out of this match looking bad. This was fantastic. The Righteous make the save. Generic heel group number 15 comes out to, what were they, number 6 earlier? It was heel group number 6 when I talked about them earlier, right? Yeah. The Revolver's Chamber, which again, still shitty name. Come on, guys, you got to do better. Got to do better. I love it though. It was beautiful chaos, and I loved it. Yeah. And that was the show. WrestlePro put on a banger of a show here. I think the funny thing is, the worst thing we can say about this show is that a handful of these matches were too short. The women's title match didn't have a finish. Other than that, everything else in the show was really good. Production quality, A+. Commentary, A+. Camera work, A+. The wrestling, A+. WrestlePro as a promotion, 4.5 out of 5 CPA shirts for me. I think we'll be back to WrestlePro at some point.
Yeah.
Again, I don't want to do a ton of repeat shows if we don't have to, because there are so many great places. Yes, glorious cats.
That's what I was thinking too.
There are so many great places to talk about. Like we have a list. Like me and Ash would send at least 3 a week, where we're like, hey, look at this indie show that's coming up. We're like, we should do this, but like we can only do 1 a week. And it's like, we don't want to do shows from like 4 months ago. Like we want to do things that are current. So a lot of these shows fall to the wayside and it sucks. Next week, Action Dean 3. You can find that on Honor Club with Ring of Honor. So you can go ahead and do that to watch the show before we talk about it. We're going to have a good time with it. I know my favorite reason for watching this show is going to be that we're going to have Nicole Matthews taking on Billy Starks, which for me is the entire reason why I want to watch this card. Because I think Billy Starks is fantastic. And I want to see a Nicole Matthews match. Because she's great. I see her on Twitter. I know she's friends. She's a very good Canadian pro wrestler from what I understand. Well, she's part of that, like our old hunt, that Northwest Canadian crew. She's up there in that neck of the woods, if I remember correctly. So that's great. We're very excited for that. In 2 weeks, Astrid will not be here. Astrid will be missing for us on the 21st. But don't worry, I have a very special guest joining us. Fingers crossed that she remembers. But Amanda Savage is going to be joining me. So I'm very excited about that. And we're going to be, hopefully, talking Dreamwave Trick or Treat, because that show happens this weekend. So hopefully it will be on IWTV by the time we do that show. So fingers crossed, because that's a banger of a show. I know Ash is a little upset that I'm doing it the week she's gone.
It's okay.
It's okay. Before we go ahead and do the plugs, I do want to go ahead and talk about TNA's Bound for Glory. I've been doing a lot of promotion for them. And it's a big show, and like we said last week, it's worth talking about. WWE, get your shit together. 2 different groups of women are going in the Hall of Fame before Bound for Glory. The beautiful people, the innovators and the trailblazers of the Knockouts division, people who made women's wrestling worth watching before WWE bothered to make women's wrestling worth watching. The beautiful people. Also, in that same vein, Mickie James is going into the Hall of Fame. Mickie James, hardcore country herself. The first from TNA to cross the line of WWE in the Royal Rumble. She'll be going ahead in there. And, of course, the matches. The X Division match that's going to steal the show. Javon Evans taking on Leon Slater in what could be match of the year. Speaking of the knockouts, Kalani Jordan, NXT's Kalani Jordan, or TNA's Kalani Jordan, depending on which side of the rope she wants to be on at Bound for Glory, taking on Indy Hartwell. So that'll be a fun one. I'm very excited for that. Actually, before we do this, she's further than us. She's in Lionsgate. Okay. Ashley, we're going to do some predictions here, too, while we got it. Leon Slater versus Javon Evans. Who wins?
It's too early, so I got to keep it on Leon.
Okay. Me too. I think it's Leon as well. Kalani Jordan versus Indy Hartwell. I got Indy Hartwell.
I'm torn about it because I don't want Kalani to lose it too soon, but it just feels like I gotta bring it back to TNA, so Indy.
All right. Let's see. What else we got? We've got Order 4 taking on The System.
I like Order 4 better.
Well, yeah, you can't stand Moose.
Yeah, so I'll go Order 4.
One final table. The Hardys, who are now the NXT and TNA World Tag Team Champions, taking on the Dudleys. We all know how much you love Bubba Ray Dudley. Are you going to go ahead and go Team 3D?
Hell no. Still going for the Hardys, always.
Oh, it's absolutely the Hardys, but I think it'll be good. I don't have the graphic, and I don't really want to talk about the match. Gia Miller, will she defeat the racist or not?
She won, but I want her to though. There's a difference there.
Bit unfortunate, but for those that don't know, it's Tessa Blanchard versus Gia Miller. And of course, the main event, the big match, the TNA World Championship match. Trick Williams defending the TNA World Championship against Mike Santana.
Yeah, I don't. Not a moose camper. I mean, I don't. Everybody knows my default answer. Santana. About time.
Yeah, Santana needs to get that title back into TNA's hands. I think
on.
Santana wins that again. It's going to be a great night. It's going to be a fun show. I can't wait to be there live to watch all of this happen in person. Everybody in TNA keeps tweeting this is going to be a show that you can't miss. And I'm like, what's going to happen on this show? Like, what craziness is going to happen on the show? Oh, also, a match was just announced within the last day or so. I didn't get a graphic for this one either. Steve Macklin trying to regain his international championship against Kazarian. What you think?
That one's tough.
Yeah.
I think I'll keep it on Cash a little bit longer.
All right. I think it goes back on Steve Macklin. I think they're going to realize they made a bad decision putting it on Kaz, and then they put it back on Macklin. But of course, again, Bound for Glory this Sunday, live from my neck of the woods, Lowell, Massachusetts. If you're in the area and you want to go to the show, there are still some limited tickets available, including the fun VIP section that I wish I knew about. And if I had had the money, I would have bought tickets there. It comes with like a free alcoholic drink, and it's a balcony seat, and it's kind of like a suite. It sounds really cool. I'm really interested in how that works. They showed off the 2 different drinks that they have for the show. It's really great. And if I were drinking those drinks, I'd end up looking like this.
Said she's very afraid of heights. She's scared.
Look like Thea dancing. Anyway, Astrid, now that I've gotten us in plenty of trouble with the Ogre Lord for all the clips I'm using, tell the good people where they can find you.
You can find me my Twitter and Blue Sky is Astrid Pizarro, and my Instagram and Threads Astrid Pizarro 20. I keep forgetting about it, but if you are shopping for Halloween or anything wrestling related, you can scan the QR code. That is my Hot Topic storefront. Same thing with the WWE one, WWE Shop affiliate. If you scan the QR code, if you want the link, it's on my bio as well. Same prices for you. A little just goes back to me, which we use later on for the camp and other stuff behind the scenes in OLE. And my shirt that the beautiful Mel Boss is modeling, and Mike is there too. You can scan the QR code or go there for your web page, and you can get the one with the pose. Other than that, if you're on my YouTube channel, you can hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Hit the like button too. I mean, even for the OLE, and leave us a comment if you have seen this afterwards. We're very close to getting monetized on OLE, so anytime that you're able to watch the show, even keeping it as a background as you're cleaning up and doing other chores or whatever you're doing, that will help us out because we're really close to getting monetized on YouTube.
You can find me at all the wonderful places at Fires12584, twitch.tv/@Fires2002. I don't really have a lot coming up. I won't be on POV for the next couple of weeks as I'm, still doing the church thing. But, we're doing the fantasy football stuff, so make sure you catch up POV every Sunday morning at 11 a.m. You can, of course, catch me and Astrid back here. Like I said, Dean Action 3 next week, so we're very excited for that. It's going to be a good time, so I'm very excited for that. So make sure you look out for that. I also want to do this again because I know we did it a couple of weeks ago with the American Rana show. I want to thank everybody for vibing with us on this change of pace from not doing NXT. The numbers have been astronomically great. And it's so nice that we could make a choice that was difficult for us because we loved watching and talking NXT with all of you. But we couldn't keep supporting WWE for all the things that are going on there. And so it's been so nice to have the ability to do these indie shows and to have a lot of fun and to not take it so seriously and not worry about continuity and storyline and just have fun watching professional wrestling again. And you guys have been vibing with us and the numbers are great. So please continue to watch these shows, continue to leave comments, give us likes, comments, things like that. You don't understand how great comments are for these kinds of shows. If you can hype the video, I know there's a way to hype videos now on YouTube. Give us some hype. Hype. Will make us the hype bros. I don't know. All kinds of great things. You can catch our local establishment, all these fine places. But remember, WrestlePro, way up here. WrestlePro on YouTube. Go ahead and like and subscribe to them so that you can know when their November show goes live. WrestleProOnline.com. Thank you for joining us. We can't wait for next week. We'll see you then. Adios.
I am in misery.